Hey, look, it's an early game event dungeon team. Hello everyone, Bront, CatHerder here. We're having some fun talking Raid Shadow Legends, and we are here on the Free to Paws account because we are going to be talking about the event dungeon. Now, it has been a bit of a struggle. It took me a while to kind of juggle this stuff, and I did a lot of this juggling on my Twitch stream, so you can check me out. Usually every CatHerday at the moment. That's about the only time I've been streaming lately. Every once in a while on Sunday, but we should be streaming on this CatHerday. Come on over, have fun. We listen to music, we dance, we pull shards, and I do free takeovers for folks. So we have fun, I help people out, and we learn things, and we talk about Raid. So it is a great time. But on the free to play here, it was an interesting struggle to get the event dungeon going, but I wanted to be able to farm the event dungeon at least level 20 because pinpoint gear has been so critical to the success of this account. And the fact that I'm simply just running out of it because I only would farm so much of this during the Hell Hades challenge, well, now I'd like to farm quite a bit more. And honestly, with some of the Dungeon Divers events coming up, I may end up doing some Dungeon Divers events with the event dungeon. Maybe not, I'm not sure. We're going to certainly see, because I do want to make sure that I have a bunch of, resources available for some upcoming champions that I do want to build. But let's go hop over to the event dungeon and take a look at the team that I've got. It is generally fairly accessible, and it's not going to be the only option, but it's the option that works best on this account. So here is what we have. We've got somebody with a speed aura in the lead to help make this faster, because again, the faster you can go, the more turns you can take, the easier it is to outspeed the enemy, and in this case, control the enemy. So Fabian was a great choice. I have certainly tried just a pure speed champion as well in Morgaine. So if you have somebody like a Haikatoon or a Morgaine, or anybody that just has a speed aura with some additional speed, they are a reasonable option for this. But I think Fabian is great because Fabian will help lock out the ads so that they don't revive, so that they don't burn you, so that they don't block their own debuffs and make it very difficult for you. So you could certainly just use block buffs, but if anybody cleanses or other things that can happen, it becomes very easy to lose control of the fight. But if you also have everybody locked out with all their skills locked out, and of course Fabian can also strip all the buffs as well, Fabian offers an awful lot of control, as well as of course the fears later on help him as well. So Ludax Artor is actually really good in this. And I've mentioned before, I think he's a better PvE champion than a PvP champion, but he is a very, very good and viable option for this dungeon because again, you're getting some additional speed, you're getting some stability with a strengthen, you're getting A1 heals, and you have a revive, and that revive is actually really nice because you effectively get an ally attack out of the revive as well. Sun Wukong goes without saying, any nuker should be fine. Sun Wukong is easier to keep alive because you don't have to worry about keeping him alive, so he can die and come back. He has a really, really hard-hitting A2, as well as that A3 also can do block buffs and can strip buffs as well. Those are two very useful abilities in this dungeon, so don't overlook those either way. Very, very good champion. Of course, Geomancer is kind of the GOAT for content like this, so I don't need to explain what he's done there to. Unfortunately, I have not found a good replacement for Geomancer. That said, you might be able to argue that Brogni might be an okay option. Of course, I'm telling you now about a legendary instead of an epic, but somebody that reflects the damage can be good. Otherwise, you're just looking for another damage dealer. So this could be Alice on an early game account, or Cleopteryx on a slightly later game account, or whoever your generally good nuker is, particularly if they're a tanky nuker, that is going to go a little bit further than just having a nuker per se. And then finally, we have Ugo. Ugo is there for block buffs. She is also there for decreased defense, but she also provides some cleansing and healing as well to help keep the team alive, which is why she's a very good champion for this. Unfortunately, she is a bad affinity for the boss, which does make her slightly less ideal. Of course, Rian the Conjurer and Achak the Wenderin are also a bad affinity for her, so maybe it's not the best option, but overall, she provides most of those debuffs fairly well, but she provides a bunch of other interesting support as well. So that is the team. Let's go take a look at the presets, because the presets are actually fairly important to make sure that things kind of work okay to start with. All right, so first of all, we take a look at Fabian. My Fabian is very fast. He has high accuracy. I think you're going to need somewhere between 250 to 300 accuracy. I'm actually not 100% sure, but I think level 20 should be fine with 250 accuracy, much like the level 20 dungeons. Hopefully that is enough. If you want to go for 300, it certainly doesn't hurt to have a little more accuracy than you might require normally. Fabian being 280 speed, you could make a slower Fabian, but the advantage of a faster Fabian is that Fabian will keep that control up the faster he is, because he is constantly not only slowing people down and stealing that turn meter, but he is going to lock people out. You're going to want him to be booked because you're going to want to make sure this lockout and the strip is 100%, and you want this on a 4-turn cooldown. You're going to want this on a 3-turn cooldown as well to keep the petrification alive and make that 100% as well, because this is honestly possibly more important other than the initial lockout, because this is going to keep everyone feared, which is going to keep everyone mostly controlled, and if they do go through the fear, it's going to petrify them, which is both going to, make them slightly tankier, but that's not bad because they're also not going to take a turn and not be able to be buffed. So Fabian, very, very good for this. His AI is great, so you can just kind of let him do his thing. And of course, as the speed aura, that's very helpful. Here is my Ator. Now, he does not need any accuracy. A lot of that accuracy is incidental. You do want him to be fast. You do want him to have some level of tankiness on him. So good HP and good defense will help keep him alive. I think some sort of regeneration set, either an immortal set or 2 or regeneration, would be good on him if you can. I have mine in relentless, which is probably not the best option, but it does mean he's going to get a few more A1s out there as well as get back to his A2. So the A1, that's going to heal all your allies by a little bit of extra HP. It tops everything off. It hits everybody. This is also something where if you can have him with War Master, it's going to make the runs quite a bit faster as well. Mine actually doesn't have War Master yet, so you don't need it, but War Master will help make this a lot faster with Ator because you're going to be doing some of that War Master damage on the ads as well as the boss, and that's going to speed things up overall. And, giving him good max HPs means his heals are going to be kind of chunky. So that's why I think having him healed is going to be helpful. And in many ways, part of why running him a Relentless is kind of nice, because he gets an extra attack with this to heal absolutely everybody. So it's a nice little heal here. I would prefer if this was fully booked. I unfortunately have it on a 4-turn cooldown. If it's on a 5-turn cooldown, it's fine. Better on a 3-turn cooldown. Strengthen is going to help keep your team alive. Increase attack is going to help your attack damage dealers do some more damage. And the turn meter is just going to help everyone go faster. And then finally, he's got the revive here. Again, I would like this on a 4-turn cooldown fully booked, but it's at least got 1 book in it. But it revives somebody with 50% turn meter, 50% HP, increase attack on them, and then they immediately attack with their A1 to the targets with the lowest HP, and that's HP percentage. So oftentimes that will end up being the boss depending on what you're doing. Otherwise it might kill an ad. Either way, it's a free attack on the revive. It's kind of hard to complain about as well. Sun Wukong, now his setup is very interesting here. You'll notice this. I have him start with his A1, and then I have him do your Now You See Us, which is the A3, which is the buff steal and the block buffs. I have him specifically doing it on this particular strike because I want Ugo to land block buffs first, and then Sun Wukong can strip any buffs that get through Ugo's lack of block buffs if she doesn't do it because of she weak hits, for example, and then can do block buffs as well. Now mine is missing a little bit of accuracy. I would like to have about 250 accuracy. The 200 might be not quite enough, but for the most part, this can generally land. The other problem I had is if I started with Staff of Wonder instead of the gotcha on the A1, what I found happened was I wouldn't actually kill one of the people I would hit, and I would sheep them instead. Now, this is not the worst case scenario, but if they get sheeped and then turn back, they don't always get locked out properly by Fabian, because if Fabian locks out a sheep, it doesn't do anything. And if they're locked out before they become a sheep, that's not, they have to get locked out before they become a sheep. If they're locked out after they become a sheep, well, you just try to lock a sheep out. It doesn't help much. So I found that this helps because this might give you a stun. Just on an offhand chance, it has a chance of giving you a stun. Especially if he's booked, that would be helpful. Again, with him, I would love to get his cooldowns a little bit better, but as you can see, I don't have him booked on this account. I've got the 1 book here for some extra damage. Overall, he's going to be here for damage, but I want to make sure that we try to keep as many buffs off of the other team as possible, just because we want to make sure that we don't have any particular tanky buffs that might be happening on the boss. We also don't want to necessarily allow any other buffs that might go out there to be on the team to prevent them from, for example, blocking other debuffs. So Geomancer, pretty self-explanatory here. You want his Quicksand Grasp to be happening. You want it happening early. You want it happening often. So you want to have that as the priority and set that to number 1 probably. Creeping Petrify was not horrible. The reason I turned it off is because quite often what I found he was doing is he would attack the boss and steal both the reduced damage for ignore defense thing as well as the taunt. So suddenly my Geomancer was taunted, which means that he would take more hits than I might like him to, and he would die, and then Artor would revive him, which was fine. But Sun Wukong revives himself, making himself a very, very easy target to be hit, and he's kind of squishy anyway. So I didn't want Geomancer drawing more attention to himself than others. He is mostly just built to get the stats. If I was really trying to keep him alive, maybe some regeneration gear or some immortal gear would be helpful to keep him alive. Otherwise, we are looking for high HP, high defense, high accuracy, good speed, and anything else is gravy. But make sure he's got enough accuracy to land the debuffs, at least 250. I've got 300 on him, which is a little overkill, but that works for this particular dungeon. Finally, we have Ugo here. Ugo's AI generally pretty good, so I let Ugo do Ugo things. She will generally do the A2, which will give you the decreased defense and the block buffs. She will do the cleanse if she feels she needs to do the cleanse and or people need healing. So from that end, you keep everyone alive. It's great. You get some of those buffs off as well. Very helpful if you get some of these buffs get through. And then finally, she has a chance to place the leech. Again, I've got her fairly fast. You certainly want her faster than most of the other champions that are going to be doing damage because you want that decreased defense out there and you want to get that block buff out there fast enough that even if the enemy takes a turn, they can't buff everybody up. So that is the team. Let's go through a run. Now, I am going to apologize for this because this team is not quite 100%, but it has been darn close. And as I've been leveling Artur up a little bit with his masteries, and of course, Fabian is now a 5-star or 6-star, and as he's been growing up in level, that's been helping as well. So let's go take a look at the run. Are you looking to start a Raid Shadow Legends account today in 2025? Well, have I got an amazing link for you. You can get yourself a free legendary and 2 free epics just by using this amazing link. Link is down below. Let's talk about who you get and how amazing they are. First, you get the amazing elf Elenarl, High Elf, attack legendary. She is absolutely amazing. She has a guaranteed burn on the A1, poisons on the A2, and poison explosion on the A3 to do all kinds of damage and wave clear for you. She'll help you in clan boss. She'll help you in Hydra. She'll help you progress against the waves. She will murder the dragon for you. She is absolutely amazing, and you get her free once you get through the tutorial when you use the link down below. Then at level 15, you get yourself a Fane. She is an amazing Skinwalker champion. She brings poisons, she brings decreased defense, she brings weaken. She is an amazing, amazing champion for clan boss, particularly for unkillable teams, but honestly, even for just clan boss progression. And she can help you in all kinds of other content in the game as well, can be a solid damage dealer in the Skinwalkers faction as well, is a boss killer. Very good champion at level 15. I would love to have one. Finally, at level 30, get yourself a Mausoleum Mage. Mausoleum Mage brings you some healing. He brings you a cleanse. He brings you a bunch of buffs, including a block debuffs buff. He is absolutely amazing. He can help you in all kinds of areas of the game as a very good support. Keep your team alive, keep your team moving, keep your team cleansed. And is a great epic to have, especially on a progressive account. And you get him for free at level 30 using the link down below. So how do you use the link? Quite simple. You can either use it on an Android or iOS device that you have never played Raid on before. So you use the link, you follow the steps, you download Raid, boom, you're done. Otherwise, if you are Polarium Play, you can either log out of all of your accounts on Polarium Play, or you can simply uninstall Polarium Play, then use my link to download the game and, boom, create a new account with a brand new email, and you've got yourself a bunch of amazing champions to start your Raid Shadow Legends journey. You can do it to start a brand new account to test out the game if you've never played before. You can do it to start a challenge account of some kind. These are pretty good champions to start a challenge account. It's a great start for a campaign. It is a great start to get yourself situated in Clan Boss, and it is a great start to get yourself situated in a lot of the dungeons as well. Very good champions. I'm super excited to have this link. Use this link. It helps support me. It helps support the channel. And honestly, it is just a great link. And finally, you've got a new player code you can use to get yourself another free legendary. We're currently in the middle of fusing Tholen Foulbeard, who is an absolutely amazing legendary champion. And you can use the code as a brand new player within the first 72 hours. Use the code Demon Slayer and get yourself a free Tholen Foulbeard. He is absolutely amazing as a damage dealer, will help you clear waves, will probably help you in Clan Boss, will help you in Hydra. He is a solid damage dealing champion to build your account around. And he's absolutely free and will let you participate in these wonderful events that are going on right now with the Chaos Awakes. So use that code, use that link, download today, and join me in having fun playing Raid Shadow Legends. So as we hear, Fabian immediately locks everybody but Akoth out, but we got the fears up as well. We get the decreased defense and weaken up with the boss. So boss doesn't actually take a turn, which is a little annoying because we're not getting the, reflect damage. But what we are getting here, as you'll notice, is we are locking people out. So Fabian is doing his job, locking people out, putting that petrification on people. There we go. The Monkey King has stolen the some of the buffs, so that's great. He's got the taunt out there. We've got Ator healing everybody and pushing their turn meter forward. There is one of the other reasons that Ugo is really, really good for this team. Ugo's cleanse is very, very good, and the heal is good to keep everyone alive. So now we don't have the burns on most of the champions. And honestly, I don't mind if Sun Wukong is taunted, because if Sun Wukong is taunted and dies, he'll just immediately get back up in a couple turns without an issue. So the other thing that we do be aware of is that Ator will revive Sun Wukong if Sun Wukong happens to be down and he has his revive up. That's just the matter of the way that this works. But as you can see, we're kind of whittling things away a little bit. Once we kind of get Akoth away, we'll suddenly start working on the boss. But as the boss continues to do things, and as they slowly but surely do things while Geo has the burns up, as you can see, we're starting to do some damage. So we're in good shape there. They are slowly targeting the boss because we're trying to whittle the boss's HP down. Now that he's whittled his max HP down a little bit more, he's become a target, which is great. The other thing we do want to make sure is we want to make sure that Rian the Conjurer does not revive anybody. So Rian the Conjurer right over there, she is a free Doom Tower champion. She is the second Doom. Is she the second or the third epic? I think she's a third epic. So she's the third normal Doom Tower champion. She's actually pretty good. She's basically Madame Ceres with a revive, but only a weakened as far as the debuff is concerned. But now that she's dead, I don't have to worry about her reviving anybody. And since a lot of this team is Spirit or Force, and of course this boss is Spirit or Force, Akoth is going to stick around and stay alive. That's fine. I don't mind Akoth sticking around and staying alive, because having Akoth stay alive means the boss does not move into the second form until we get that health whittled down closer, ideally to the end of the life. So unfortunately, Geomancer likes to put that burnout in random places sometimes. So every once in a while we get the burns out on Akoth. A little frustrating, but that's just kind of the way it is. If you wanted to target the boss for absolutely everything, you certainly could. But for the most part, I would rather let the team actually kind of figure out what it needs to do and, make sure that it's a full auto so I can run it auto multiple times in a row rather than have to click on the boss. So, boss transformed. We get the burns out there. That's great. That is probably going to be the end of it for the boss at this point in time. So she will probably get a couple of attacks in and hopefully kill herself with Geo's Reflect. Good news is, for the most part, we're kind of healed, and if we can ever get a Brimstone out, that was great. And that's one of the advantages of having Artor actually revive Sun Wukong versus Sun Wukong reviving by himself. You'll see that Sun Wukong actually got to attack with his A1 an extra time effectively because he got that extra revive. Plus, he's then a target because he's still one of the weaker champions out there. And boom, not fast, not sexy, but there you go. I've had this go as fast as 2 minutes and 20 seconds. This was closer to 4 minutes, but it is a nearly 100% team. I don't want to say it's fully 100%. Again, booking Artur would certainly help. Booking Sun Wukong would certainly help. Having slightly better stats or possibly slightly better gear should make this team a little more accessible for you. And again, Fabian is great. Other speed lockout champions would be good, as well as people that have AoE stuns or even AoE provokes might work okay. To be fair, I kind of like Fabian because I like the ability to lock out being a much better way to control the boss and the minions than just a normal counterattack or a normal stun or something like that. Why? Because the boss will actually cleanse. So if you cleanse all those stuns, you might suddenly lose control of the fight if you're reliant on stuns for consistent control for a very long-term fight. Whereas Fabian's lockout, even if they do get a turn because they got cleansed and they don't have the fears anymore and they're not petrified, they still can only A1, which is going to generally keep your team safer than not. So, hey, it's a short video. It's certainly not going to be the best team in the world, but it is a viable Stage 20 team with champions that have either been free very recently or fusible very recently, or are hopefully somewhat accessible in Geomancer and Ugo. Yeah, Sun Wukong may or may not be a problem for some of you, but again, if he ends up being another damage dealer, you could certainly use Alice instead of Sun Wukong. In fact, I almost did Alice instead of Sun Wukong. I like Sun Wukong just a little bit better in this because of the affinity issue that I don't have with him. But at the same time, I have a 5-star blessing on my Alice, so she hits harder. She also can help lock everybody out as well, giving you some of the security that Fabian is giving you. And, you know, she has a 5-star Brimstone, which means that if you can get Brimstone up, you might be able to get it to go off, and that could speed up the run as well. So, appreciate you guys. Hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. I do appreciate you guys. I will try to get more videos out on this dungeon, but I think we've had a great coverage on the community on some of the other dungeons I've been doing. I have been trying some of the Eurost teams. I think Bronco put up there. Bronco's been killing it out there. Go check out Bronco's team. Farbstoff's done some Kun teams. I see MTG Jedi has a team or two out there. There are a bunch of interesting teams, and as we find more teams and learn more about the boss's behavior, we're going to find more and more accessible teams for you guys to run on Stage 20 and Stage 25. And there's no shame in farming Stage 20 at the event dungeon. It's what I'm looking forward to farming here on my free-to-play. So, appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. Much love to you all. Have a wonderful day. And until the next video, I'm Bront CatHerder.